Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our current affairs series. Okay, I will pick up most important topics as usual. So the first topic that I would be picking up now is recently in Delhi. Recently, Delhi has experienced heavy rainfall and strong winds, and it has disrupted the normal life in Delhi. Okay, so this is the month of May, right? Monsoon would arrive in June in India, and to reach Delhi, it will take at least a month. So monsoon has not yet arrived in Delhi, right? Still, Delhi has received rainfall. What could be the reason this time that Delhi has received rainfall? Can anyone guess? Indiaದಲ್ಲಿ monsoon start ಆಗೋದು June 1st ಇಂದ, right? And to reach Delhi, it takes monsoon first arrives in Kerala, then it slowly, gradually covers rest of the India. By July 15, monsoon will cover entire India. Yes. By July 15, monsoon will cover entire India. ಸೊ ಮಾನ್ಸೂನ್ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಆದ್ರೂ ಸಹಿತ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿಲಿ ರೈನ್ಫಾಲ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಏನ್ ರೀಸನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು? ನಾವು there is a talk about western disturbances. Okay, let's talk about something called western disturbances. They're telling that western disturbances are the reason. Western disturbances are the reason why Delhi is receiving rainfall. So what is western disturbance? That we are going to cover in our first topic. Our first topic is related to what? Western disturbance. Current news is, ಏನಿದೆ current news? Delhi has received rainfall. Okay, even though there is no monsoon, Delhi is receiving rainfall due to western disturbances. Now there is a changing in the pattern. Now there is a change in the pattern of western disturbance. What is western disturbance? What is western disturbance? Any of you know about this? Any of you know about this? ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಓದಿರೋರು. Geography, how many of you read geography? This is a topic. Geography. This is a topic from geography. ಹೇಳಿ, ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಓದಿದ್ದೀರಾ ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ? Old students can also tell me. They can talk, interact. None of you know what is western disturbance? Okay, let me tell you from basics. Western disturbance are basically cyclones. Okay, now there are two types of cyclones. The first type of cyclone is within the tropical region. In the tropical region. So the cyclones which are occurring within the tropical regions are called tropical cyclones. Okay. And there are some other cyclones which originate beyond this tropics. They are called extratropical regions or temperate cyclones. So all of you must be knowing what is a tropical region. Tropical region is this region of the earth. This region of the earth from equator 23.5 degree north latitude and 23.5 degree south latitude. This region receives high sunlight, high insolation. ಇಲ್ಲಿ sunlight ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, direct sunlight ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ at least once in a year. Okay, so because of this region, this is called tropical region. In Kannada, ಉಷ್ಣವಲಯ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ. Okay, cyclones originating within this tropical region are called tropical cyclones, and there are cyclones which originate in temperate region also. Next region is temperate or extratropical region, extratropical cyclones. Is it clear? So two types of cyclones, tropical cyclones and extratropical cyclones. Now now talking about extratropical cyclones, they're also called temperate cyclones. We will not study the basics of them, but just understand western disturbances. When you are talking about western disturbances are nothing but cyclones. What type of cyclones? Tropical cyclones or non extratropical cyclones? extra tropical cyclones. All of you are here. Attentive. Morning energy ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಬನ್ನಿ. Right. Fresh ಆಗಿ energy ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೊಡಿ morning at least. So what are western disturbances? What are western disturbances? Basically, they're extra tropical cyclones. Okay. Okay. So western disturbance, why do we call western disturbance? The reason we call it western disturbance is the reason we call western disturbances, they come from western direction. West. Is this west or this is the west? This is the west? Yes. Okay. So here there is Mediterranean Sea. Here there is this something, there is a sea called Mediterranean Sea. Right? Mediterranean Sea separates Europe from Africa. Right? Middle Mediterranean Sea, the region. ಇಲ್ಲಿ Black Sea ಬರುತ್ತೆ, Caspian Sea ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Okay? Understand this? So western disturbances are cyclones originating in the Mediterranean Sea region. Where? ಈ region ಅಲ್ಲಿ originate ಆಗ್ತವೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಕೋತವೆ. Okay? They originate here, but they move towards India, eastwards. Okay? For us, they're coming from western directions. Okay? And they arrive here to India and they bring rainfall. When they come to India, they bring rainfall because while coming, they're capturing moisture from Mediterranean Sea, from Black Sea, from Caspian Sea, and in the Persian Gulf and Red Sea. These water bodies. Okay, when these western disturbances travel from here to here, they're capturing moisture from these water bodies. Okay, and those water bodies, when they capture the moisture and they arrive here, they shed rainfall here. They shed their moisture in the form of rainfall. So hence they bring rainfall in the northern India. Okay. Have you got some idea what is western disturbance? Western disturbances are extratropical cyclones or temperate cyclones originating in the Mediterranean Sea region. And they travel eastwards. Towards India. And while traveling, they capture moisture from these water bodies such as Black Sea, Caspian Sea, Red Sea, Persian Gulf, and they bring rainfall in the northern India here. Is this clear? Next. One question is, why do they travel west to east? That question, for that, they travel from here to here by the influence of something called jet stream. What is the whose influence? By the influence of jet stream. So those of you who is not aware of jet stream, let me tell you very briefly, crispy. Again, you'll study in basics. Here, I will just introduce you what is this. Jet stream is high-speed wind at higher altitude. Yes. Jet stream is what? High-speed wind at higher altitude, not near the surface, but go to the higher altitude at around 7 to 8 kilometers at least. Okay. So ಅಷ್ಟು ಎತ್ತರಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಹೈ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ವಿಂಡ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. That high speed wind is circulating around Earth. Okay. So this high speed wind which is circulating around Earth in the upper atmosphere is called, what is this? A jet stream. What is this wind? What is this called? Jet stream. Okay. How it originates, why it originates, all of that we will study in basics, geography subject ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. So what is jet stream? It's high speed wind at higher altitude. ಅಷ್ಟು ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಸಾಕಾ? So ಅದು ಯಾವ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? ಅದು west to east. Correct? West to east. Hence, that means at upper level there is jet stream which is moving here. Correct? At upper level. So the force of that jet stream also carries these cyclones from here to here. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಬ್ಲೋ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಬ್ಲೋ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಹಾ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ರೆಡ್ ಕಲರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು? ಜೆಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್. This jet stream carries these cyclones from Mediterranean region towards India. Okay. So hence these cyclones reach India and bring rainfall. Now, whenever they come to India, these cyclones, they bring little rainfall, not heavy rainfall. They bring mild rainfalls in the states of Punjab, Haryana, Delhi. There's some parts of Rajasthan, then Bihar, UP, and sometimes up to West Bengal and Assam sometimes. And most importantly, these are the same cyclones which bring moisture here in the Himalayan regions. In the Himalayan regions, instead of rainfall, there would be snowfall. Okay, in the Himalayan regions, ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಶ್ಮೀರ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹಿಮಾಚಲ ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ರೈನ್ಫಾಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಬೀಳುತ್ತೆ? ಸ್ನೋಫಾಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? Snowfall in the winters because of low temperature. Because of low temperature in those regions, instead of rainfall, what would you see? Snowfall. That snowfall is important because it accumulates snow in the winter so that they can feed rivers in the summer. Most of the rivers in the Himalaya have sources in the melting of glaciers, melting of snow. ಸೊ ಸಮ್ಮರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ನೋ ಅಕ್ಯುಮುಲೇಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ, ವಿಂಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ನೋ ಅಕ್ಯುಮುಲೇಟ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಮ್ಮರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಲ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಹರಿಯೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಅಕ್ಯುಮುಲೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ನೋಫಾಲ್, ಅಕ್ಯುಮುಲೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಐಸ್ is very important. Okay, so you know that western disturbances are important because they bring rainfall in those regions. Now, why is it in news? I'll tell you. Generally, this western disturbances phenomena is common every year. This western disturbances phenomenon, have you understood what is western disturbance? What is this? Western disturbance is just cyclone. Western disturbance is cyclone originating near Mediterranean Sea and blowing towards, they are coming towards India and bringing rainfall here. Okay, and they move west to east because of jet stream. When the question is asked, why do they move from here to here, west to east? The reason is jet stream. Okay, and you know the importance, they bring rainfall. Okay, now I'll tell you why is it in news. Generally, this phenomena occurs in winters. But now we're in the month of May. It is summer, and this is peak summer in Delhi, right? Peak summer time in Delhi. But western disturbances is active. Generally, western disturbances occur after monsoon season. In winters, in the month of October, November, December, these western disturbances are very active in northern India. Okay, so now we can see that western disturbances are arriving as early as May, June, July. Okay, so this, you can see that there is a changing pattern in the western disturbance. There is a changing pattern in the western disturbance, and the frequency, number of times these western disturbances occurring is also increasing in the northern India. Okay, what could be the reason why they are arriving early? What will you link it to? So they're telling that they're arriving early because of the jet stream. They're arriving early because of this jet stream. This is called subtropical westerly jet stream. ಈ jet stream ಯಾವ jet stream ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ? Subtropical westerly jet stream. Jet stream ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ? High speed wind at upper atmosphere blowing from west to east. Okay, you know that there are basically 4 jet streams, 2 in the northern hemisphere, 2 in the southern hemisphere. Totally how many jet streams are there? 4. So one jet stream is here in the subtropical region, another jet stream is here in the subpolar region. So 2 jet streams in the northern hemisphere and another 2 jet streams are there in the southern hemisphere. So total how many jet streams? 4 jet streams. and this jet stream and these jet streams are called subtropical jet streams. Subtropical jet streams. Whereas this jet stream and this jet streams are called subpolar jet streams. Okay. So our current focus is on this subtropical jet stream. This particular jet streams bring western disturbance to India. Correcta? Western disturbance India ಯಾರು ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ? Jet stream, subtropical jet stream. Okay. Now this subtropical jet stream is getting intensified in summertime. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ intensify ಆಗ್ತಂದ್ರೆ because of climate change, because of rising climate change. Okay. Climate change has an impact in the speed of wind, speed of jet stream. Okay. Because of rising global temperature, the phenomena of western disturbance is changing. You can see the changing pattern in the western disturbance because of climate change. And also the Arabian Sea is warming. Arabian Sea is warming by around 1.2 degrees Celsius to 1.4 degrees Celsius over recent decades. Okay. So when they are warming more, Arabian Sea, you can see the water bodies here, Red Sea, Persian Gulf. Okay. So this is part of Arabian Sea, and there is Arabian Sea, part of Indian Ocean. So this sea temperature here is rising. Sea temperature here is rising. When the temperature is rising, there will be more moisture. There will be more moisture in the air, right? When these disturbances are coming towards India, if there is more moisture in the air, they will bring heavy rainfall. Okay. So western disturbance generally bring mild rainfall, but in recent periods, you can see that there is mismatched timing. They had to come in the month of October, November in the winter time, but they're arriving early in summers, May, June, like that. So currently, you can see that Delhi has received rainfall because of western disturbance. Is this clear? Is this clear? Or generally, when this just western disturbance arrive to northern India in the month of October, November in the winters, that is good for rabi crops, especially wheat. Wheat cultivation it is better. But when they arrive in the month of May in the summer, it is a problem. Any doubts in understanding this? Any doubts? Online students, any doubt in understanding western disturbance and have understood this particular news? Please tell me any doubt or any difficulty? Nothing? Okay, let me take up another small topic. There is this one particular species in use. So in environment subject, environment we have conservation and on topic barutte. Conservation, pollution and degradation. Okay. So conservation part alli there is prelims alli ಕೆಲವೊಂದು questions ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ environment conservation ಅಲ್ಲಿ species ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು particular organism ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Okay. So there is one particular species of turtle that's in use. Okay, let us discuss a little bit about that particular species. That's a turtle species. Species of the turtle. The name of that species, red-crowned roofed turtle. What is this? Red-crowned roofed turtle. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಇದು ಎಂತ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್? They ask this such questions in prelims. ಈ ಸ್ಪೀಸಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು. Okay. I will show you the image of that species. ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದೆ? ಯಾವ್ದು ಹೇಳಿ ಸ್ಪೀಸಿ? ಏನಾದ್ರ ಹೆಸರು? Hello. What's the name of that species? Red-crowned roofed turtle. Okay, you can see this red crowned roof turtle. This is the turtle. This is in use. Some of the basic information you can see. Why is it important? First important thing is it is critically endangered by IUCN. Okay, so there is an international organization called IUCN. ಕೇಳಿದಿರಾ? IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature ಅಂತ ಒಂದು organization ಇದೆ, IUCN. That classifies species into different categories in a book called Red Book, Red Data Book ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. That's called Red List. Endangered species, critically endangered species, vulnerable species. ಕೇಳಿಲ್ವಾ ಹೆಸರು? ಕೇಳಿದಿರಾ? Red List ಹೆಸರು ಕೇಳಿದಿರಾ? Red List means ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾವ ಸ್ಪೀಸೀಸ್ಗಳು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟಿಂಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋ ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಯೋ, ಥ್ರೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದಾವೋ, ಓಕೆ, ಅಂತ ಸ್ಪೀಸೀಸ್ಗಳ ಒಂದು ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಥ್ರೆಟ್ ಇರುವಂತ ಸ್ಪೀಸಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕಲಿ ಎಂಡೇಂಜರ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕಲಿ ಎಂಡೇಂಜರ್ಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹುಸ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಲೆಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಕ್ಲೈನಿಂಗ್ ಎಟ್ ಎ ರ್ಯಾಪಿಡ್ ರೇಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟಿಂಕ್ಟ್. ಅರ್ಥ, ಸ್ಪೀಸಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟಿಂಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. Understanding this? So, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ different categories ಇದಾವೆ classification ಅಲ್ಲಿ. For example, you can see that if ಸುಮ್ನೆ introduction ಮಾಡಿ again environment subject ಅಲ್ಲಿ environment subject ಆಗಿಲ್ವಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ? Haven't you attended? Okay. Here, if the population is in good number, they will add into a category called least concern. Least concern category add ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ what we are studying now, IUCN classification of species based on the threat level. Okay, that's called red list. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ರೆಡ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್. ರೆಡ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾರು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ರೆಡ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾರು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? IUCN. Okay, so in red list ಅಲ್ಲಿ there are different categories of species. Okay, classifications. So if the population of the species is in good numbers, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ least concern. That means no need to worry about this. Else, least concern ಅಂತ ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಸ್ಪೀಸಿ ಅದ್ರ ಕಡೆ ಬಂದ್ರೆ it has sufficient, there is sufficient population of that species. If there is some threat, they put it into near threatened category. There is some threat, but it is not yet threatened, but it can enter into threatened category if the population continues to decline like this. So least concern and near threat. Then comes the threatened list. Then comes the actual threatened list. Actual threatened list ಅಲ್ಲಿ there are three. First one is vulnerable states. Okay, VU ಅಂತ ಬಂದ್ರೆ vulnerable ಅಂತ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. Okay, so vulnerable means there actually ಒಂದು population ಇಷ್ಟು ಇದ್ರೆ ಈ vulnerable category add ಒಂದು specific classification ಇದೆ. That you need not study now because you will get confused. But just see that ಥ್ರೆಟ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆದಂಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಇಫ್ ದ ಥ್ರೆಟ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಇಸ್, ಇಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಥ್ರೆಟ್ ಎಟ್ ಆಲ್, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿ. ಇಫ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಮ್ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಥ್ರೆಟ್, ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ನೌ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಗುಡ್, ಬಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಥ್ರೆಟ್ ಟು ಇಟ್, ಸೊ ದೆನ್ ನಿಯರ್ ಥ್ರೆಟೆಂಡ್. If there is actual threat, if the population is actually declining, then the first threatened category ಯಾವುದು? Vulnerable. And ಇನ್ನು ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ನು ಡಿಕ್ಲೈನ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಂಡೇಂಜರ್ಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅಂಡ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಡಿಕ್ಲೈನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ they will put it in critically endangered. Getting me? So see this. And if critically endangered ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಕನ್ಸರ್ವೇಶನ್ ಎಫರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇವ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟಿಂಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೀಸಿ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟಿಂಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಟೈಪ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟಿಂಕ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ವೈಲ್ಡ್, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟಿಂಕ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟಿಂಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಎರಡು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟಿಂಕ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಓನ್ಲಿ ಜೂಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಜೂ ಪಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಓಕೆ, ಜೂ ಪಾರ್ಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಇಡೋಕ್ ಒಂದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಪೀಸಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಟೋಟಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟಿಂಕ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ, ಆರ್ಡರ್ ವೈಸ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಕನ್ಸರ್ನ್, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ನಿಯರ್ ಥ್ರೆಟೆಂಡ್, ದೆನ್ ದ ಥ್ರೆಟೆಂಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿ. ಥ್ರೆಟೆಂಡ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿ vulnerable, endangered, and critically endangered. So if a particular species is critically endangered list, then can you imagine the level of threat it is facing? That population full decline ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟಿಂಕ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ ಅದು. ಇವಾಗ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಎಫರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಕನ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ it will get extinct. So can you see, whenever you study a species, any particular species, you will have to look for IUCN status, whether is it in vulnerable category, whether is it in endangered category, or is it in critically endangered, or is it least concerned, or is it near threatened. So can you see this red-crowned roof turtle, this species, this particular species of turtle, can you see in which category is it? What is this? Critically endangered. Okay. So then you can see another important indicator you can see is sites. In sites, it's appendix 1. We will discuss sites. You will study in basics. Sites is basically related to trade in the components of the species. So many species are getting extinct because some parts of that species is traded across international boundaries. Okay. So to prevent the trade, okay, most important species have been added in appendix 1. Appendix 1, appendix 2, appendix 3 ಅಂತ 3 category ಇರುತ್ತೆ sites ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Sites related to international trade. ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ for now. Okay. So this particular species ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ you can see here the explanation has been given in the official website here. You can see where does this occur? Where does this red crowned roof turtle ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ? ಯಾವ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಟರ್ಟಲ್ ಸ್ಪೀಸೀಸ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ you should say it can be seen in India. ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? It's seen in India, it is seen in Bangladesh, and it is seen in Nepal. So write down about this species. Where all can you see this? India, Bangladesh, and Nepal. Okay. Understanding this? And one more thing, this particular turtle species generally Ganga river system ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿತ್ತು historically. But ಇವಾಗ ಗಂಗಾ river ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? ಗಂಗಾ river system ಅಲ್ಲಿ you can see there is no turtle species except in one place. Currently it is found only in National Chamba River Ghadial Sanctuary. Is the only area with substantial population of species. Okay, understood this? ಇವಾಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ? ಇದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿ. Species ಮೇಲೆ question definitely every year they are asking. So this particular turtle species in use, and this can be a question for your prelims. So this particular species generally ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ? Historically ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿತ್ತು? ಗಂಗಾ ರಿವರ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಇವಾಗ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಕರೆಂಟ್ಲಿ? ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಕರೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಈ ಸ್ಪೀಸಿನ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು? ಚಂಬಲ್ ರಿವರ್ಗೆ. ಚಂಬಲ್ ರಿವರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಘಡಿಯಾಲ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಚುರಿ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಘಡಿಯಾಲ್ ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಚುರಿ. Chambal River Ghadial Wildlife Sanctuary. Only in this Chambal River, in the Ghadial Wildlife Sanctuary, you can see substantial population of this particular turtle species. Okay, so it is critically endangered. And one more thing, with this you understood that it's a freshwater turtle species. Freshwater turtle andre oceans ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ. ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ? ಓನ್ಲಿ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. This particular species is a, what is this? ಹೇಳಿ. freshwater species. freshwater ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ freshwater ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಲೇಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ, ಓಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಾ? ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ಇದು ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಕ್ಕಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗಂಗಾ ರಿವರ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ 30 years ಟರ್ಟಲ್ ಸ್ಪೀಸಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಈ ಸ್ಪೀಸಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಮುಂಚೆ ಗಂಗಾ ರಿವರ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಬಟ್ ಇವಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಫಾರ್ ಮೆನಿ ಇಯರ್ಸ್. ಫಾರ್ 30 years ಇಂದ ಗಂಗಾ ರಿವರ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡೇ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ಗಂಗಾ ರಿವರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಸ್ಪೀಸಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ, ಈ ಟರ್ಟಲ್ ಸ್ಪೀಸಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ನ್ಯೂಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ if you want to see this particular species, the substantial population of this species survives in Chambal River. Okay, especially which stretch of Chambal River? Which stretch of Chambal River? Chambal River na ಯಾವ part ಅಲ್ಲಿ? Ghadial Wildlife Sanctuary. So what is this Ghadial? Ghadial ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನದು ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಯಾರಿಗಾದ್ರು? Okay, first what is this Chambal River? Where is this? Chambal River is tributary of which river? Ganga River ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಒರಿಜಿನೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಗಂಗಾ ರಿವರ್ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಉತ್ತರಾಖಂಡ್ ಹಿಂಗ್ ಗಂಗಾ ರಿವರ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಗಂಗಾ ರಿವರ್. ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಮುನಾ ರಿವರ್ ಹುಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಯಾಗ್ರಾಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗಂಗಾ ರಿವರ್ ಜೊತೆ ಮರ್ಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? There is one tributary of Ganga river, that is Chambal river. Chambal river is tributary of this is Ganga, this is Yamuna. Chambal river is tributary of Yamuna. This is Ganga. Yamuna river is tributary of Ganga. Then Chambal river is also part of, Chambal also falls in the basin of Ganga. Ganga basin idu. Okay, Ganga river system the part idu kuda. Okay, ಇದು ಒಂದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಚ್ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಯಾವ್ದದು? ಚಂಬಲ್ ಘಡಿಯಾಲ್ ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಚುರಿ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. ಈ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಟರ್ಟಲ್ ಸ್ಪೀಸೀಸ್ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳುತ್ತೆ. ಇವಾಗ ಚಂಬಲ್ ಘಡಿಯಾಲ್ ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಚುರಿ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತಾ ಇದೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಘಡಿಯಾಲ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? ಘಡಿಯಾಲ್ ಅವ್ರ ಘಡಿಯಾಲ್, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ರೊಕೊಡೈಲ್ ಸ್ಪೀಸಿ. ಏನದು? ಘಡಿಯಾಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಕ್ರೊಕೊಡೈಲ್ ಸ್ಪೀಸಿ. ಈ ಸ್ಪೀಸಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್, ಘಡಿಯಾಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ UPSC ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿದೆ UPSC ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಘಡಿಯಾಲ್ is what? It's a which species? Crocodile species. Okay, freshwater crocodile. That is also found only in Chambal river, just like this turtle. It is called ಘಡಿಯಾಲ್ because it has a snort. ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು ಏನಂತಾರೆ, ಒಂದು ಪಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ಟಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಘಡಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಘಡಿ ಹಿಂದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಗಡಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಪಾಟ್ ಅನ್ನಂಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, so you can see here. Okay, stuck ಆಗಿದೆ. So, can you see this crocodile species? It has a snort in the end. Last ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತರ snort ಇದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಘಡಿಯಾಲ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ UPSC ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಏನ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್? ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನಿತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಘಡಿಯಾಲ್ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ರಿವರ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಏನೋ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು. ವಿಚ್ ರಿವರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿಸಿಟ್ if you want to see the substantial population of ಘಡಿಯಾಲ್ crocodile? Which river? Chambal river. ಓಕೆ, ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಮುಂಚೆ ಸೇಮ್ ಇದ್ರ ತರನೇ ಕತೆ ಅದರದ್ದು. ಈ ಟರ್ಟಲ್ ಹಂಗೆ ಗಂಗಾ ರಿವರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕಡೆ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಇವಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? ಓನ್ಲಿ ಚಂಬಲ್ ರಿವರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಘಡಿಯಾಲ್ ರಿವರ್ ಹಂಗೆ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ನಾರ್ದರ್ನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ರಿವರ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಫ್ರೆಶ್ ವಾಟರ್ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ರೈಟ್ ನೌ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ಚಂಬಲ್ ರಿವರ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಘಡಿಯಾಲ್ ರಿವರ್ IUCN ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕಲಿ ಎಂಡೇಂಜರ್ಡ್. ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಸೈಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ Appendix 1 ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ many reasons its population has declined drastically and now it is in critically endangered category. It can be seen only in Chambal river at this Ghadial wildlife sanctuary. Okay, in the same river, in the same place, you can also see this red crowned roofed turtle. Is this clear, everyone? So what are the things we have discussed till now? First, we have discussed firstly about western disturbance. So what is western disturbance? What is western disturbance? It's a extra tropical cyclones originating around Mediterranean Sea, but blowing towards India by the influence of jet streams. So, have you understood what is jet stream? In short, jet stream is high speed wind circulating west to east around the earth at in the upper atmosphere. Okay, so there are how many jet streams in total? Four. Two in the northern hemisphere, two in the southern hemisphere. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು ಯಾವ್ದು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಅಕರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ದ ನಾರ್ದರ್ನ್ ಹೆಮಿಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಅಂತ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಮೂವ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಟು ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಂತು, ರೈಟಾ? ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಟು ಈಸ್ಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ದೇ ಅಕರ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ನಾರ್ದರ್ನ್ ಹೆಮಿಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರಾಂಗ್. ಟೂ ಇನ್ ದ ನಾರ್ದರ್ನ್ ಹೆಮಿಸ್ಫಿಯರ್, ಟೂ ಇನ್ ದ ಸದರ್ನ್ ಹೆಮಿಸ್ಫಿಯರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲರ್ನ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಜನರಲಿ ಯಾವ ಮಂತ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತವೆ, ಯಾವ ಸೀಸನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ generally occur in winter season after monsoon, right? Post monsoon period ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಳೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾವ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಮಾನ್ಸೂನ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ, ಮಾನ್ಸೂನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಮಳೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಫ್ರಮ್ ಜೂನ್, ಜುಲೈ, ಆಗಸ್ಟ್, ಸೆಪ್ಟೆಂಬರ್ ಆಲ್ ಓವರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ರೈನ್ಫಾಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಮಾನ್ಸೂನ್ ಎರಡು ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಳೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ. ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ? ಒಂದು ತಮಿಳ್ನಾಡಲ್ಲಿ ಮಳೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನಾರ್ದರ್ನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್. ಎರಡು ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಳೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಬಟ್ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಸಮ್ಮರ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಮಳೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ನ್ಯೂ ಫೆನಾಮಿನಾ, ಚೇಂಜಿಂಗ್ ಫೆನಾಮಿನಾ ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ಕ್ಲೈಮೇಟ್ ಚೇಂಜ್. And second thing we discussed was about this particular species. What's the name of this species? Red-crowned roofed turtle. Okay, this particular turtle species earlier used to occur in most of the Ganga river system, most of the rivers in the Ganga river system. But its population has got extinct over there. Now we can see significant population or observable population of this turtle species only in Chambal river. Okay, especially at the stretch of this Chambal Ghadial Wildlife Sanctuary. Okay, so this, talking about this particular turtle species, it's a freshwater turtle species whose IUCN status is critically endangered and whose CITES category is Appendix 1. CITES ಅಲ್ಲಿ Appendix 1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, CITES ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Okay, and related to that we also have learnt a little bit about Ghadial also. What is this Ghadial? Ghadial is a freshwater crocodile species, one of the largest crocodile species. Okay, it's also critically endangered. Currently its population of that is observed only in Chambal river. Chambal river is tributary of Yamuna river. Yamuna is tributary of Ganga river. So Chambal is part of which river system? Ganga river system. Correct? So we have learnt all of this. Next, let us talk a little bit about caste census. A little bit small. Time idea. It takes some time. Okay, let me finish this. We have started late. Okay, what is this caste census? Caste census news and because Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs has accepted for the caste census. Earlier, same government had rejected caste census. In 2021, the same government, current government, the same party had rejected caste census. But now, the same government, the Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs has accepted that next census time ಅಲ್ಲಿ caste ಕೂಡ ಎನ್ಯುಮರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. caste ಕೂಡ ಎನ್ಯುಮರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾವ ಕಮಿಟಿ? Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs, which is headed by Prime Minister. This committee in the cabinet has decided to introduce caste census during population census. Okay, ಇವಾಗ population census ಏನ್ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ caste census ಕೂಡ accept ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Okay, so that's why caste census is in news. So what is this caste census? What is this caste census basically? Tell me. What is caste census basically? Why is it in news first of all? First, let me spend some 10 minutes about this. What is this caste census? Very important, ongoing news. Okay, there can be a question on this. I'm telling you, don't ignore this topic. Caste census, please try to answer because caste census ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. And I also explained a little bit about it. Have I given brief introduction about it? A little bit. Now you can tell me something about it. Why is it in news? What is this first of all? Census is what? Census ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿ 10 years ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಕೌಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರ, ಅದನ್ನ ಸೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ವಾ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. ಸೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ವಾ? Caste census, yes. So now they will also ask you which caste you belong to. Earlier ಇದು ಕೇಳ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಕೇಳ್ತಿದ್ರು only for SCs and STs, whether you belong to SC category or ST category ಅಷ್ಟೇ. But which caste, which subcategory, everything, all the data related to caste also now they will collect. Okay, so this is called caste census. So recently Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs, it has approved that it has approved caste enumeration of census. Okay, so now they will ask caste as part of the upcoming census. Okay, but in 2021 the same government had rejected. There was demand that caste census should be introduced earlier, but this government was not supporting that idea of caste census because there are some disadvantages of taking caste into account during population census. Population census ಅಲ್ಲಿ caste data collect ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು disadvantage ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ. Okay, so hence this is important for mains also. For mains you should study in two ways, like what are the arguments which support that caste census should happen and what are the counter arguments to support caste census should not happen. Okay, so both the arguments you should be knowing for mains. For prelims also there are important points which we can discuss. First of all, for mains, what is caste census? It is systematic collection of data on caste identities, as you said. Okay, during the national census, during this regular census, decadal census, every 10 years we do this caste census, right? This population census, right? So during that, now they systematically collect your caste data also. Okay, so why do they do it? To get the insights, to get proper information about the socio-demographic information, which is essential for affirmative action and social justice planning. Affirmative actions like reservations or some special benefits. Okay, lower caste ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ or SC ST ಅಥವಾ OBC ಅಲ್ಲಿ different categories ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ different benefits ನಾವು ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ sufficient data ಬೇಕು. Okay, so for that caste census is considered to be important. Okay, now in India census is conducted by central government. Okay, so because this topic census is in central list, okay, it is the responsibility of central government to conduct census. Now historically when this caste census system was introduced in India, caste census was introduced during British time in 1881. Okay, from 1881 British they have carried out. So actually ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ census start ಆಗಿದೆ, ಪಕ್ಕಾ census start ಆಗಿದೆ 1881. Okay, after that every 10 years British they used to conduct census. So first census ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ ಸೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು 1881 ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಅವಾಗಿಂದ ಅವರು ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ ನ ಕೂಡ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಗಿದೆ? 1881. ಫ್ರಮ್ ದೆನ್ ಆನ್ they used to conduct caste census every year, 1891, 2001, 2021 and 2031. So from 1881 till 2031, from 1881 and to 1931. So 1931, in every census caste data was collected. So caste census was conducted. But after 1931, this caste census had been stopped. Okay. And post-independence in 1951, when we conducted first census, we rejected the caste census. Okay. Caste census has been discontinued from which year? 1951. Right after independence, in India has discontinued caste census. So except for SC sign, ಇಷ್ಟು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇಷ್ಟು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಹೇಳಿ? Have you understood this or not? Hello, all of you. When was caste census introduced in India? 1881, and it continued till 1931. So thereafter, it has been discontinued. Post independence, Indian government had chosen not to conduct caste census, except for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So when was the last full enumeration of caste has been conducted in India? Last ಯಾವಾಗ caste data collect ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ? 1931 census. Thereafter, in 2011, we have conducted one more census called socio-economic caste census. SCPC ಅಂತ ಒಂದು socio-economic caste census was conducted in 2011. This has taken some level of information about caste also, but this data has not been published fully yet. Socio-economic caste census data ನಾವು data ಇನ್ನೂ complete ಆಗಿ publish ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ for some reasons. Okay, so hence we do not have complete data about castes. Hence, in the upcoming census, now Cabinet Committee of Political Affairs has approved that we can take data of the castes. For mains, tell me, is it needed? Is it important to collect caste census? Is it important to data on castes? What are the arguments which can be put forth in support of that caste census? Why do we need caste census? Tell me 1 or 2 points. And what are the challenges?
Is a basic challenge.
Challenge. Okay, when you collect data on caste, would it intensify discrimination? Discrimination ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತನಾ? Yes, a good point. Can you explain more about it? Caste census ಇಂದ caste identity ಇನ್ನೂ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Identity, I belong to this caste. Identity ಇನ್ನೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? So that will lead to further discrimination based on caste. That's first thing. Another thing is due to political manipulation ಆಗ್ಬೋದಾ? Vote bank politics ಗೆ caste data use ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೋದಾ? This data can be misused by politicians. Understanding this is another challenge. First talk about the arguments in support of that. ಒಂದ್ ಎರಡು ಮೂರು ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳಿ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಬೇಡ. ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಇದೀವಿ? ಫಾರ್ ಅಫರ್ಮೇಟಿವ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಅಫರ್ಮೇಟಿವ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫಾರ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ನೀಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ OBCs. OBCs ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫರ್ದರ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ವೆರೈಟೀಸ್, ಮೆನಿ ಸಬ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಇದೆ OBC ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? OBC ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೇ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇವಾಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಸಮ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ reservation policies based on the need, based on the population of the castes. We can give different set of benefits. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇಫ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಡೇಟಾನೇ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀನಿ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಈ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ವೆನ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸಫಿಶಿಯಂಟ್ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡ್ benefits according to the needs, according to the population of that caste, right? So for bringing some changes in reservation, for reservation rationalization, okay, and for subcategorization, again subcategorization ಮಾಡಬಹುದು within particular caste there are subcategories, right? So this for subcategorizations ಕೂಡ ಇದು ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, and this will help government for targeted best targeted benefits extension for health, education, for other livelihood schemes based on caste. We can bring new schemes. Okay, because we get to know this caste population ಇಷ್ಟಿದೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಫಂಡ್ಸ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇಂತಿಂತ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, there is also constitutional mandate that Article 15 allows state to make special provisions for the upliftment of backward classes. Article 15 clause 4 ಏನ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ? The state has to take special measures for the upliftment of backward classes. Okay, so we can take better measures only when we have better data about the caste. So there is indirect constitutional mandate also. Okay, so these are some of the benefits we have discussed. That is why they want to introduce caste census, mainly for this affirmative action. Affirmative actions ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿ? For example, reservation is affirmative action. Where you are discriminating, of course ನೀವು ರಿಸರ್ವೇಶನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀರ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಮಿನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀರಾ, ಅಪ್ಪರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಮಿನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಮಿನೇಷನ್. Okay, this is an affirmative action. So for introducing new schemes, for bringing changes in your reservation policies, okay, for bringing many other good changes, we need data about the caste. As we have discussed some of the benefits, tell me some of the challenges and issues with the caste census. One thing she has told us about the caste identities and further discrimination. That is one of the issues. Can you tell me other challenges? And one more point that I added was about political manipulation, vote bank politics. Correct? Caste data can be misused. Okay, for social polarization. Okay, for vote bank politics or identity based politics. Tell me other issues. There is one more issue with respect to collection of data also. Correct? So there can be false reporting, because they will, while enumerating, they can give false informations. They can share false information that will lead to false reporting and flawed conclusions about that. That is another issue. Tell me, can you tell me another one or two issues with respect to caste census? You know, in Indian system, the castes are so many, varied castes are there. To collect data is not an easy task, because there are many subcategories within a caste. So there can be overlapping categories also, because they can be SC and OBC together. Okay, it could be very difficult while enumerating the caste, because there are many subcategories. So there is a challenge for enumerating. There is a challenge to conduct census. There is challenge that the data given by the people or citizens can be false. False enumeration issue could be there. So this will lead to inaccuracies, and this will again impact our policies. And another issue could be risk of this caste identities and further discrimination. Opportunities issue andre
scholarship opportunities issues.
See, ಅದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಿಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. Scholarship, for example, particular caste you can extend more benefits when you have the better data. Based on the need, you are providing reservation now. it will help the government to extend benefits according to the need, according to the specific data we have. ನಮ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ನೀಡಿದೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಅಂತವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸಬ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ OBCs ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಸುಮ್ನೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ನೀಡಿದೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಡೇಟಾ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ there are many other points about this. You can go and further research on that. Caste census ಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? So tell me how many topics we have finished till now? 3. First topic Western disturbance. Second topic red crown roof turtle. Third ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ. ನೀವು ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಓಡಾಡ್ತಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನೀವು ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಇನ್ನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಗೊತ್ತಾದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಏನೇನು ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ? ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ you are enumerating, okay, in our regular census. It was introduced in 1881. It was continued till 1931. So last census, caste census, was conducted in 1931. So post independence, Indian government has discontinued caste census except for SCs and STs. Now Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs has approved reintroduction of caste census after 1931. Okay. Now some of the benefits you have understood, and some of the challenges also we have discussed. Okay. So we'll have to write one mains question on this. I will give you a question. Caste census ಮೇಲೆ ಬರೀತೀರಾ? Mains answers ಬರೀತೀರಾ? So write down this question. Let the question be a little bit different this time. Opinion oriented. Discuss the significance and challenges of conducting. Discuss the significance and challenges of conducting a caste census in India. Significance and challenges of conducting a caste census in India. Full stop. Full stop ಕೊಟ್ಟು do you think a caste census can strengthen the objectives of social equity? The objectives of social equity? Question mark. So now in the question ಅಲ್ಲಿ the two parts, there are actually many parts, 3 parts. First, significance of caste census. Second, challenges. Third, your opinion oriented question. In ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, do you think caste census can strengthen the objective of social equity? So third part ಅಲ್ಲಿ you should talk about social equity. Equity ಅಂದ್ರೆ not equality. Equality is different from equity. Equity ಅಂದ್ರೆ based on the need, based on the demand, extending benefits, social benefits. That is called equity. ಎಷ್ಟು ನೀಡ್ ಇದೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡೋದು. ಈಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀಡ್ ಇರ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡಿ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡೋದು, ಅದು ಈಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಡು ಯು ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂಗ್ಥನ್ ಈಕ್ವಿಟಿ? ಓಕೆ, ಬರೀತೀರಾ ಆನ್ಸರು? ಸೊ 3 ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರಿಬೇಕು, ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ,
See you guys tomorrow.